Jose Campos, Costa Rica. And the jury, the president of the jury, Myriam Busselot, Belgium. Hiroyuki Isagawa, Japan. Gennady Kodosevich, Russia. Lawrence Bale, USA. And last but not least, Brooke Haywood, Canada. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome back to Halmstad, Sweden for the IPF World Open Powerlifting Championships here in 2018. It is an absolutely fantastic day. The sun is shining, the warmth has come out, and the action just keeps getting hotter and hotter on the platform. And we have got the 74-kilo men, and this is already, just looking at the nominations, this is heating up to be an absolutely massive session. We had the women this morning, the 57-kilo women, and the action was out of control. We had world record after world record. I'm back here again with Elliot Bulldog Feldman, and we are going to take you through this action, and we are going to be starting in just over a minute. And these squat nominations are absolutely enormous. These are 74-kilo men, and we've got multiple athletes opening above 300 kilograms. That is absolutely huge. And of course, a big shout out to our sponsors, Alico Raise the Bar, and they have done just that here this week. It is an absolutely fantastic venue, all brand new Alico equipment. And when we say Alico equipment, we are talking absolute quality. This is without a doubt, and I don't think anyone would argue, this is the leader in strength sport equipment around the world. Of course, Uplift, who came on as a major sponsor with the IPF just this year in Calgary, Canada, an absolutely fantastic online training platform for coaches and athletes. And when you go on Uplift to look for a coach, you are getting nothing but the best. And of course, SBD, the makers of the finest powerlifting products on the planet. And we are 10 seconds away from Kamil Osawa from Poland for 220 kilograms to open his campaign. And here we go. We are kicking off with 220 kilograms.
You know, Gary, and this is another session where we're going to see world record attempts, squat, bench, and deadlift.
You know you're in good company when you've got to break world records to have any chance of winning the gold medal.
Right, and again, those world record pulls all these world record attempts will come in the flow of the meet, and someone's going to have to pull a world record deadlift maybe to win this meet.
And we watched this session last year as well, and it was just absolute madness in the deadlift.
Okay.
Good speed into the hole, but just couldn't get the momentum.
Just a little bit rough.
He got down into the hole really well, got good depth, but just didn't have any speed coming out. Might be a little bit of an adjustment to his equipment, might make all the difference. Andrei Sjoflika from Romania, 230 kilograms.
It's nice to see some of the Romanians here this year. There's a lot of years that we go and we don't have.
Yeah,
we don't have any other team here.
You know, it's always tough to come to all these events. I mean, you know, the cost of sending teams, you know, across Europe to attend these different events, so they'll tend to pick and choose which ones they're going to go to.
Yeah, there's only a handful of athletes at this level that, for whom this is not a hardship coming here. I mean, obviously the training and everything, but the money and everything else. All right, Andre's up at 230 kilos.
Gets into depth, got a little bit offline, but stood up really well. Got himself a little bit out of line as he got into the hole there, but he gets the 2 white lights and it's on the board.
I wonder if they're calling that yellow is for the bar dipping on the way up.
Yeah, a bit hard to see from that angle what they were calling. Head ref has seen something that we can't see.
Well, it could be something with the way the hand was sitting on the bar, something that we cannot see from here. The yellow card, that number 3 card, is literally everything else. So it's double bounce or any number of other things.
Ratsuk from Mongolia, 290 kilos, and this is a country that has started to grow in powerlifting as well, Mongolia.
We just had our Masters World Championships there in Mongolia, just about a month ago this week.
Getting bigger and bigger. Smooth, a little bit slow on the way up. Just having a little bit of trouble locking out at the top there.
Let's watch those knees. Yeah, see, that's a borderline lift. It's a borderline call.
Yeah, one referee saying not locked out, the other one quite happy. So
yeah, those knees are not locked. Not locked.
Norihiro Otani from Japan, 290 kilograms. Remember, these guys are 74 kilo lifters, so Norihiro is 73.15 when he weighed in this morning.
Otani may be the one who takes that bench record today. He came close in Luxembourg to getting that record. Just didn't get it. Matter of fact, lost track of what the wet record was, and I think went a half kilo heavier than he needed to and missed it.
Good control all the way through that lift. Very good control of the bar, and gets the 3 white lights and it pays off. Alex Ochoa from Ecuador, 295 kilograms. By the time we get to the 3rd attempts, there are going to be some huge numbers on this board. 295 kilograms on the bar. Yeah, we talk about Alico and quality equipment. We've got an Alico bar up there, the best in the business, and it will take all this weight through every session, through every day this week.
The bars are rated at 1,500 kilos.
It is absolutely unbelievable. They're something like 200,000 pound tensile steel.
Nice squat there by Ochoa.
Very good control. 3 whites.
And again, the team from Ecuador calls very good attempts. They pace. They do what they're needing to do. Marcos is a great coach. Calls a great game.
Alexander Eriksson from Sweden, 300 kilograms. Well under his best lift of 320. And of course, you can hear the Swedish crowd behind us. They just keep getting louder and louder and bigger, supporting their countrymen.
1, 2, Alexander is very popular here. On top of us being here in Sweden, he's popular even in his own country.
So our first lifter in the 300s. Just making sure he gets his balance right. Good opening attempt. That was a good choice of numbers there.
Looked light on his back. Referees say 2-1. And
2-1. That's a good call.
And again, that's 2-1. It's definitely close.
Yeah, and if you're watching at home and you're wondering about depth, it's not unusual to see an athlete hit depth on one side and be a little bit borderline on the other side. And we just saw there the side referee suggesting not deep enough on that side.
Yeah, definitely. And again, if you're a competitor yourself, or you're coaching people, or you want to get your children into this, remember that the referees aren't your enemy out there. It's a coaching cue. They're telling you, get deeper.
And it is one of the great things about powerlifting that the referees will take the time to talk to athletes, talk to coaches, and tell them, this is what I pulled you up on. This is what you've got to do. Donny Mianto from Indonesia, 310 kilograms.
Wow.
It was quick, but was it deep enough?
Looked a little high from here.
And it was 3 red lights.
And I think the one weakness of the Indonesian team is, I said, was their attempt selection, I think, as opposed to some other teams like Ecuador that make spot on.
And it really does just come, that attempt selection is such an experience thing. Buckland from Norway, 315 kilograms.
Shell is one of my favorite people in the sport. He just is interesting, and on top of it, he's a great lifter.
315 kilograms on the bar.
We're at 315 kilos, and there's still 3 more heavier openers. And interestingly enough, only the wow.
You got good depth on that.
Wow.
Just let the bar take control a little bit. Drove his chest forward. If we have a look on the replay here, you can see it just dips the chest forward a little bit. So the depth was good. And there it is. The hips were a bit faster than the chest. Vladislav Gorny from the Ukraine, 320 kilograms.
And the bar is loaded. Come on, Vladislav.
You know, it's interesting. I just thought of that with the Ukrainians, their lifters seem to have very much the same physique. When I'm saying the same general proportions, I think when they're recruiting their athletes into their national program, they look for certain limb lengths and things because they're all very, very similar in body type. I mean, taller and shorter, but very,
absolutely.
very similar.
I mean, I know myself when I'm looking at people I'm working with, I will look and talk to them and suggest that they are built limb length-wise and physique-wise for powerlifting. And he's had to work really hard for an opening lift. So 320. It'll be interesting to see where he goes in his second lift because that was a tough opener.
Yeah, and also traditionally, Ukrainians tend to open in a much heavier percentage. They'll take much smaller jumps. So where you may have, let's say, an American or an Aussie or a Brit, if they're opening at 320, the next attempt will probably be about 340, 345.
Ukrainians tend to open a little bit higher, smaller jumps.
His second attempt will probably not be anything more than 330. Definitely won't be more than 10. I think if it's more than 10, it's a bit of an issue because that was a little sketchy.
Sergey Ashenets from Russia, 325, and he's just asking the guys to move the bar a little bit.
Sergey, does not speak a lot of English. To be charitable, but I mean it's, and he and I will sit there and have conversations for hours. And not one of us speaks the other's language, but you have a coherent conversation.
I'm sorry, what language
about
do you
what's
speak?
going on? I am not really sure. Australia and the U.S. separated by a language, right? One country.
Well, that's not surprising actually with Australian. And that should be good, and it is. Great lift there. Jaroslav Olek from Poland,
Now look.
345.
Here becomes the issue. Yaroslav has won 15 straight, I believe. 15 straight titles in 53 international starts. He's won, taken gold 50 times. The other 3 times he's taken silver.
He is hard to beat.
He's had world records in the squat. He's had world records in the deadlift,
Yeah.
world records in the total.
He currently has the world record in squat at 367.5. He's opening at 345. I just wonder if he's planning on having another crack, kicking that record in the pants.
And as we were discussing before we came on the air, even though he's a great lifter, he tends to open a little bit too heavy because he's hunting for that record a little bit. In this today,
and not today, he hasn't opened too heavy at all today.
Nope.
That was what you'd expect an opening lift to look like. He gets the 2 white lights, 345. That was really what you expect an opening lift to look like.
Yep. And he does that. I believe he did that last year too. He smoked it.
Camille from Poland, 220 kilograms. So he missed this on his opening lift, and it did just look too heavy.
Oh, it definitely did.
Yeah.
You know, watching his form and everything when he comes out, to me, he almost looks like a classic lifter that they're trying to translate into transform into an equipped lifter. I mean, the Poles, again, are one of the top teams. They normally are, for the team title, are on the podium. You know, they're first, second, or third most years. So you're looking at someone who's coming in here with a much lower total, nominated total. You don't see that from Poland. So that's the only thing that I'm thinking here, is that it's possible. And to watch his form, and to me, it looks more like a classic style.
Yeah, and it is quite a transformation to move, particularly on squat. That was better. It looks like they've tightened things up a little bit. He wasn't quite as quick coming down there.
Nope.
And he gets the 3 white lights and it's on the board.
See,
and you're right, his descent, particularly in that first lift, was
watch
very
his knees
much
come
like...
forward. Watch his knees come forward. Not as bad as the last time. See how forward the lean is, and he's more grinding it out, which is more of a...
And if you look at his first lift, it very much was synonymous of a classic lifter, dropping quickly into the hole. And our next lifter, Andrei Sjoflika from Romania, 240 kilograms.
Well, and we saw Emma yesterday from GB, Great Britain, and that was only her third meet, second international in gear, and she's definitely going to catch on to it, but you can tell when you can see people feel that discomfort.
Yeah, there's a lot of learning to do in equipped lifting. You know, it's not just a case of throwing on a suit and increasing your lift. It's a big learning curve on how to use that equipment.
And the best of the equipped lifters train in their gear a lot. The days are gone when you just throw a suit on 6 weeks out and wear it 3 or 4 times prior to a meet.
And there we go, it's on the board. Batsuk from Mongolia, 300 kilograms. And you can see Jaroslav has put in a 360 for his second attempt.
Yep. And what's the record now is 367 and a half, and it's his own, correct? It was interesting. He's had that 367 on the books for a while.
It's been there for a little while now, so maybe it's time.
And in Miami, I think there was, Orlando, 2016, he took 367.5 and he made it. He just would have tied his record. He missed the attempt. So it was interesting that he didn't go up, but he's had this record for a bit.
Well, today might be the day here in Sweden. A little bit awkward on his walk out there, but steadies again.
His knees are even soft on the start a little bit.
Really locking out as well as he should be. That looks better.
He's still not sitting back. Yeah, he's still not sitting back.
Gets the white lights on the board.
And I'll tell you what we've seen with the Mongolians. They are principally, their big sports are, obviously there's some Mongolian sports that they do, but is wrestling.
Yeah, very much a wrestling country.
And bodybuilding. So their guys come in being very, very, very strong benchers. Every bencher they have probably will take a shot at a world record in their individual class. but they're getting much better at the squats. They could not even get depth when we saw them. They were lucky to go 1 for 3 in the squat.
And they are just going to get stronger and stronger. Alex Ochoa from Ecuador, 307.5 kilograms.
I think if Mongolia got a coach from outside to come in there and work them, that they could wind up medaling a team medal at some point. Let's say 5-6 years out. All right,
it's fantastic to watch these countries grow and develop in this sport, though.
Well, we've seen it. Alex Ochoa here from Ecuador. We've seen Ecuador due to Marcos, their coach and their head of their federation, taking care of everything. He has built that program from the ground up.
Depth looks good.
And then he went from the ground up also. There we go.
And it's 2 white lights. That's enough to go on the board.
All right, so right now we kind of have a flavor for how this platform's going. It's not tight, it's not easier. It's pretty much spot on for what we want to see.
We're going to see this one roll out mostly, I think, at the end of the bench press, and then the deadlift is really going to start to see a lot of things happening. At the moment, most of these guys are actually playing quite smart moves, playing it safe in their squats.
We're going to see a lot of missed third attempt squats on this. I just have a funny feeling on this flight, and it will not be because of the referees, folks. It will be because of the mistakes that the coaches and the lifters are making, because right now these guys are calling it right on the line, right where it needs to be.
Donny Manto from Indonesia, 310 kilograms, and the Indonesian team have been fantastic this week so far. Handles that weight
amazing.
Very well.
It looked much better than his opener.
And he gets the 2 white lights, and it's on the board.
Now, again, you're seeing a lot of 2-to-1 decisions, right? Which is where they should be. They're very close squats.
Yeah, look, at this sort of level, at this level of competition and these sorts of weights in this weight class, you are going to see a lot of 2-to-1s. You're going to see a lot of borderlines. And, I mean, it's a tough job out there for the rest with this sort of weight class. You've got 320 kilos on your back. You are only going to go to the depth that you need to go to. You're not going to go any deeper than that. So you see a lot of borderlines.
Yeah. So Backlund himself has been a world champion himself, coming out here at 315. He's been through the war so many times. He's so mature. He's so skilled as a lifter, both in his technique.
Yeah, he'll turn this around.
And just in his mental attitude, that I think he'll turn this around right here.
That looks a lot better. Well, let's see what they say. Ooh, still not deep enough, and he has put himself in all sorts of trouble now. He has put himself under all sorts of pressure. Alexander Eriksson now from Sweden, 317.5. We talk about that first lift selection. If you open 5 kilos lighter, confidence is a bit higher. It might be an easy weight for him. You might think I can do more, but it doesn't matter how much you can do on squats if he doesn't get it on the board.
It's not about where your first attempt is, it's where your third attempt is. Yeah. We see it all the time.
You have to get that first one on the board so you get a third one.
The fact that you're opening with the heaviest squat doesn't mean you're going to win gold medal in squat, and oftentimes it doesn't happen that way. Somebody else brings it out of you.
317.5 for Sweden, Alexander Eriksson. The crowd has gone crazy again.
They love the kid, man.
That should be a good lift. Let's wait and see what the referees say. Oh, not deep enough. Let's have a look at the replay. We've got a nice side view on the replay here too.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, it's definitely not deep enough.
He's just pulled it up a little bit shy, hasn't he?
Not deep enough. And so I think we're going to see this again. We're getting into the heavier squats, the latter half of the squats in the second round.
Yeah, look, and he took a 17.5 kilo jump there, which might have just been a little bit too much for his confidence. He's pulled it up a little bit short because he wasn't really 100% sure with the weight on his back.
I mean,
looks like, we'll just get through this lift. Norihiro from Japan at 320.
All right, the jury has overturned Backlund's second lift, so it is now a good lift. It looked to me, honestly, we were like, it's borderline, so I'm not, but yeah.
And that is precisely why we have 3 referees and a jury.
Correct. And a 5-man jury at open.
Yeah.
So there's 8 referees looking at everything.
And that's just a little bit too much for Norihiro. Vladislav from the Ukraine, 335 kilograms.
So that the jury overturning Backlund's and giving him a good lift on his second at 315 puts him back in solidly in bronze
It certainly
medal
puts him
position.
back in the game now.
Yeah.
Having missed that would have been, a very, very big ask to go
Tragic.
up from there,
Tragic.
but he's given himself the opportunity now. Yeah. And good job on his coach for actually walking over. Never hurts to go and talk to the jury.
Right. Now, you don't want to go to the well every time or they stop listening to you. But you do, you just go get a clarification.
Vladislav Shonyi, 335 kilograms. These are getting huge. He's having to work hard for it. Gets it back to the top. And he gets it 3 whites.
Good lift.
Sergey Gashinets from Russia, 340 kilograms.
And Jorny's issue is he's got a great squat and a great deadlift. Very fair to middling for this level. Bench press. So if something happens, he can sneak in there, but it's a lot tougher when you're that far off the pace in one of the 3 lifts.
This will be a 10-kilogram personal best. $340 kilograms. Super fast into the hole.
Yeah, but I worry about the depth on that.
Very fast. And he got good bounce, but did he get deep enough?
3
And
whites.
he did. 3
There you
whites.
go. He was so fast on that.
So, we often talk about quick lifts, not giving the referees enough time to really investigate and examine. If you hang around down the bottom for a long time, you give those referees time to really take a close look. Do it nice and fast, hit depth, get back up, and they give you the white lights.
And Gashinet's making that that second attempt there at 340 really puts pressure on Oleg to make this. 1, he wants to hit the world record.
Yeah,
2, so he wants to go 368 on next attempt. But he's got to make this 360 or it leaves the door wide open for Gashinets. Gashinets is a mildly better bench presser and probably will end up breaking the world record in the deadlift.
This
today.
is where he really wants to make sure he's got the consistency. Boy, that 360 looked easy.
It looked easy. Let's see what the referees
That
say.
was super fast, and he gets 2 white lights, and it's on the. And he walks on, does his job, walks off. Thank you very much. Another day at the office. That was nothing. So 240 goes on the bar now for Kamil from Poland.
All right, so right now we've had 22 lifts. Only 5 misses.
That's a pretty good opening 2 rounds.
And one of them, the Polish lifter should not have missed. It was really inexperienced. So let's say we had 4 misses out of 22.
Now this is an interesting move though for Kamil. He's missed the 220 opener.
Right.
He gets a second and he's jumped up 20 kilos for his 3rd lift.
Yeah.
It's quite a big jump.
It almost looks like they're trying to finish where they wanted to instead of kind of splitting the difference.
Given that his first 2 attempts they weren't the cleanest of lifts, 20 kilos is a very, very big ask. And you can see he's really struggling with the walk out there.
I almost wonder if he's ever had this on his back, the way that looks.
Well, he stood it back up.
It looks better. It looked better than his 2 shots at 220.
Did he get the depth? And he does. Well, I stand corrected. He might have looked awkward coming out, but that looked better than both 220 attempts.
And here is the thing here. This is what makes me believe that this is a thing of him being in gear very recently, because more weight, his form looked better.
Yeah, it certainly did. That looked a lot better than his first two lifts.
Yeah.
Andre from Romania, 250 kilograms.
It almost like he could not work the suit on that 220.
And a little bit extra weight has actually helped him to get a hold on that suit.
Yeah. And not with an experienced lifter where you might go up 5 kilos or 7.5 to get more weight to work the suit.
This literally an extra 20 kilos.
Well, an extra 20. He literally was not working the suit on the first 2 attempts.
No, on the first 2 attempts, he really did lift like a raw lifter.
That one looked like I would never have known.
So we've got 250 on the bar. Oh, no, you could see he hesitated part way through the descent there. Something just didn't sit right in his suit. He just didn't get the line right. If you watch the replay, you'll see him almost stop.
All right, so here's where we're coming to an issue. That Cho is coming up here. Gashinets is in at 345 for his third. He's only going up 5 kilos now, okay? Oleg is going up 10 kilos. He's actually going heavier than he needs. He only needs 368 for the record. He's putting in 370.
370.
Remember, this record is still on the book since 2013.
Yeah. And the way that 360 moved, though, I'm actually not surprised at 370.
I'm not surprised at all. But again, Oleg's one of those ones who moves fast until he doesn't.
Alex Choa from Ecuador, 315 for a personal best.
So it'll be interesting to see if Gashinets makes his 345. It really puts the huge pressure on Oleg.
Yeah, the 370 from Jaroslav's a tactical move as well.
Again,
that in the predicted totals then puts him even with the Russian lifter.
Yep. All right, Alex Ochoa is up at 315, and I know that's the reason he did it. But if you're going to do that, why not go 370.5, right? Or to have an advantage. Let's watch Ochoa here.
Now the weight didn't look too difficult. Did
No,
he
not
get
at
down
all.
further enough?
Not at all. There you
And
go.
he does, 2-1. It's on the board. Nonohiro Otani from Japan with 320 kilograms. He missed this on his second.
He took a 30-kilo jump from 290 opener, which is solid, to a 320 that did not look comfortable whatsoever.
30 kilos is a big jump.
30 kilos is a big jump.
Even in equipped lifting. And we do often see bigger jumps in equipped lifting, particularly when we get up to the bigger weight classes.
Yeah.
You'll see some bigger jumps. But 30 kilos in a 74-kilo class, that's a big jump.
Well, and again, traditionally, the Japanese team doesn't attempt to take jumps like that. So let's see what he does here. Now, if he makes this is probably where he should have finished up as 320, but he probably should have split it up a little bit differently. I think is well within his strength.
Yeah, sometimes that 30-kilo jump's just a little bit too much for the nervous system to handle, and a missed attempt can actually fire up the nervous system. And it's just a little bit too much.
No, I mean,
he had good control of the bar on the way down, but he didn't get any speed out of the bottom at all. So now we go to 322.5 for Alexander Eriksson from Sweden. And I don't know if you can hear it at home, but the crowd is going absolutely crazy.
Realize we were at a 90% make rate through 1 and 2, attempts 1 and 2. I said we're going to have a big problem here, I think, on our thirds. We're already running at only a 50% clip right here.
Well, let's hope Alexander Eriksson can hit a personal best of 322.5 and buck that trend. And don't forget, if you are watching this at home on Facebook, flick over to the Olympic Channel, olympicchannel.com, and you can watch all the action live in high definition on the Olympic Channel, broadcasting for the first time ever on the Olympic Channel.
In 4K. No.
And he handles the weight well. Did he get the depth? And he did. It's on the board at 322.5.
Beautiful.
Buckland from Norway now wants 325.
He has not looked comfortable at all. Did not look like himself.
So he opened at 315, struggled with it, hit it on the second with an overturn from the jury, and now looking at 325. Given how touch and go, how close it's been on the other two lifts, I wonder if 10 kilos might be a little bit too big a jump for this lift. Let's wait and see. Or maybe it's enough to push him down through those knee sleeves and that suit a bit further.
That looked good.
Looked a little bit better.
Yeah, it looked
Certainly
better.
looked better this time round. The extra weight's
There
done
you
the
go.
job.
2-1, and that's okay.
Donny Miento for Indonesia with the next lifter coming out at 330 kilograms. So he's gone 310 opener, missed it, 310 second, got it, and now looking at 330. And I imagine this might be where he intended to end up anyway.
I think that's exactly
Probably
what happened.
310, 320, 330.
But again, I'd rather see you wind up here and go 3 makes. And you have to go back and do a little forensic analysis of your lifting over time. If you're missing a lot of openers or you're missing a lot of third attempts, you've got to change those attempt selections.
Just a little bit too much there.
Nah.
That 20 kilo jump was just a bit too much for him.
He came in thinking that 330 number, that we could hit that 330. And that's where that kind of went. You know, he went in to try to do it instead of saying, hey, we got to adjust this a little bit.
And now we have another 30 kilo jump. Bakhook from Mongolia has done 290, 300. So he went 10 kilo jump into his second and now a 30 kilo jump into his third lift.
And because of the way the Mongolians have to come here, they probably took 5 or maybe even 6 flights to get here because of how hard it is to get from where they are out of the country to other places.
I took 2, a bus and a train, and that was enough. Yeah, he's come very forward on those knees there. Really let that track forward there, didn't he? If you watch it on the replay, you might get the side angle on the replay. You can see right from the start his knees have started to come forward. There it is. And the back heel even came off the ground, I think.
Yeah, so what happens is those knees translate forward. You start getting onto the balls of your feet.
So we have a world junior record now. Vladislav, 345 kilograms for the Ukraine. World junior record. He hit 320 well, hit 335. Now the 10 kilo jump to 345, which isn't an unreasonable jump.
Not at all. And this will move him to silver medal position in the squat.
$345 for a world record, and to put him in silver medal contention for the squat. Every single session a world record attempt. Ooh, a little bit too much for him. You can just see his chest drop forward there.
Wow.
Just a little bit too much.
I was going to move him to silver position. Gachinets now gets silver in the squat.
Yeah, so that world record attempt has hurt him a little bit.
Now, all he's looking for is 5 kilos. The two of them, Oleg and Gachinets, are matching each other. The coaches are matching each other. They put in their attempts. They are still matching at 870 prognosis. They keep going up. They were at 860 or very close, and they keep moving it up, pushing it.
Gachinets is about to look for 345, and this is a somewhat important lift here early on in the session. this will give him a subtotal of 870 because Jaroslav is chasing down that subtotal a little bit. Let's see if he can hold the 345. It's only a 5 kilo jump for 340, which is a quite sensible jump.
If he makes this here, I think he's in a real good position for the gold medal.
Just not enough.
No.
You can see he was a bit slow coming out of the bottom. He almost stopped at the bottom. And I think there's a moment there he just sort of almost pauses, and he does. So now we have another world record attempt. Jaroslav Orlok from Poland, 370 kilograms. This is a big, big lift for the world record, 370 kilograms. Here he comes, and the crowd is starting to get loud now. 370 kilograms on the bar. Doesn't that look absolutely fantastic? All those Alico plates lined up there.
Now, this is one of the older squat records on the books here from 2013.
He's been hanging around for a while. It's his record. And is today the day he decides to change it? Def looks good. He stands that up very quickly. It
See
should
what the
be a
referees
good
say
lift.
there.
370 kilos.
No.
Oh, not quite deep enough.
Let's
And
see
gets
if we
two
see the
red
replay.
lights, and the coach is going to come to the jury panel.
I mean, from where I'm looking,
It's really, really hard for us to see. You know, all we have is a single angle there, but the coach has gone to the jury panel and having a chat. The jury's having a bit of a talk about it.
So look at the board, what we were talking about. You see how few misses we have in the first and second? And then look at what we had talked about earlier going into the thirds. We had 7 or 8, 7 misses out of 11.
Yeah, all of
We only
these
had 4 good
lifters are
attempts.
just really trying to push that envelope that little bit further, trying to make up. But we always talk about consistency.
Right.
You want to go into the bench press. There's the best position you can. The bench press is the area where you can't really make up huge amounts of ground.
No.
You know, so you want to be going to that bench, having your 3 squats on the board, get your extra few kilos on the bench, and then you can really push it on the deadlift. And the jury is still having a chat there. I'm not sure if
Let's see what they're
we've
doing.
made a change. We have got 20 minutes to go until the bench press, but we're going to keep you up to date right now. The jury is deliberating on that world record, and let's see what happens. We've got both the coaches from Poland have come over. All 5 jury members are having a chat with each other. They're really they're telling the guys to go away while they talk about it. So we are just waiting to find out. That would be an absolutely monumental moment if he overturned that, and certainly a game changer. If he doesn't get that 370 as the world record, it's going to make it a game changer, and that leaves the opportunity for the Russian athlete, even though the Russian missed his 3rd lift. If Jaroslav doesn't get overturned and he misses that 3rd lift, the Russian athlete stays in front on predicted totals.
Now, based on opening attempts, right now for prognosis, Gashinets is in first place.
That's right. So Jaroslav really needs this to be overturned. Otherwise, he's playing the chasing the whole way through.
Well,
and there's not a lot of room to chase through the bench press.
You know, there is, this might end a 15-year reign of dominance, and no one's even touched
We
him.
know that if it comes down to the bench press, Gashinets is a great bench presser, and it's going to be very tough for Jaroslav to catch him and make anything back through that bench press.
All right, this conversation is going to go on for a while, so we're going to come back in about 15 minutes.
About 15
we'll come
minutes,
back in,
we'll come back.
And then we'll start in 17 minutes and 40 seconds.
Because
and
they
get
are
going.
still talking about this one.
All right.
We will let you know as soon as we come back, so don't go too far away. In 17 minutes, the bench press starts. We'll be back in 15 to keep you up to date with everything that's going on. Welcome back to Hampstead, Sweden for the IPF World Open Powerlifting Championships 2018, and the action just keeps heating up, and we just saw Jaroslav Olek from Poland attempt a 370 kilo world record. Referees gave 2 red lights. Coaches approached the jury. The jury deliberated for quite some time, and the outcome was that it was overturned, and the 370 kilogram world record stands. And we get to have another look at the replay here. Here it is again, 370 kilograms. The jury has awarded this world record at 370 kilograms, and it's certainly going to make it a lot harder now for the Russian to catch up. And here it is again, 370 kilograms, a record that stood for quite a long time, and he made it look so easy. I even think there's more in the tank. I wouldn't be surprised to see him break that record again in the next 12 months. But it is on the board now, 370 kilograms, and we are 45 seconds away from getting the bench press underway, and that certainly changes things. Had he missed that lift and not been overturned, the Russian athlete would have been in a very, very strong position going into the bench press ahead of Jaroslav. Now we can see that Gashens is just a little bit behind in the predicted subtotals, but in 20 seconds time we are going to have Kamil from Poland looking to open the bench at 145. And we know traditionally the bench is an area where it doesn't give you a lot of room to make huge kilo gains. So you really want to be in a strong position coming off the squats, and Olek has put himself in a very, very strong coming off the squat.
Well, all that being said and all that, he got it overturned. Everything was great. Olek broke his own world record that had existed since 2013, one of the oldest ones on the books. He's now only 5 kilos ahead. The big difference coming in here to pay attention to in the bench press and the deadlift with Olek and Gashens is that Olek takes very small jumps in the bench press and also takes fairly small in the deadlift. And what were you going to say, Gary?
Yeah,
about what we know?
As we know, is Gashens is quite an experienced bencher and will probably take some bigger jumps in the bench press. And we've got 145 on the bar for Kamil. He gets it off the chest super fast. Did he lock that left arm out? And the referees say yes, it's 3 white lights.
Now, here's my prediction here. Here's my prediction. Gashens, if benches go well for Gashens and he does what we think, he's going to be pulling. Gashens is going to be pulling for the win. He's going to pull a world record deadlift and break Olek's deadlift record.
All right, well, you heard it here first. Right now, Donamiento from Indonesia, 180 kilograms, and this is a team that just gets stronger and stronger. They have been in the mix, on the podiums, everything this couple of days so far, and Donnie just puts that one up like it's absolutely nothing. 3 white lights.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a battle right here. There's 2 grown men, and they're going to throw haymakers at each other.
Yeah, no one is going to walk away with this one. If you want this one, you're going to have to work for it.
Yeah. But these 2 openers coming up for Olek and Gashens is going to be the key to this entire meet, these bench openers right here. All right, Baksut Demdin Soren is up now. I love saying his name.
I'm glad you do.
Well, why I like that is there's some of the Mongolian lifters have Demdin Soren is half as long as some of their other names, and it is difficult because I don't know any Mongolian to figure out how to pronounce them.
It's certainly not a language I'm familiar with, and unfortunately, 3 red lights. Just couldn't quite manage that. He got a good line going down, but just couldn't get past that lock position. So Andre from Romania, 185 kilograms, is on the bar. And we are going to start seeing some big numbers in these second lifts.
We're already, this is the 4th attempt in, and we're already at 185.
And the world record for the bench press in the opens is 245 kilograms. The World Junior is 245, and the World Masters one is 227.5. And we can see there that Eriksson from Sweden is opening at 230. Is he looking for a world record?
And so is Otani. Remember I told you he missed that one. He called the wrong number because he didn't know what the world record was. So
here
he's
they
looking
go
close.
again.
But as Gashinets, don't count Gashinets out for winning the gold medal in the bench press.
Vladislav Shorny from the Ukraine, 190 kilograms.
Just remember, guys, it's not where you start, where your opener is. It's where you finish on your third attempt.
Doesn't matter what you open at, you've got to get them on the board. Vladislav Shorny from the Ukraine, 190 kilograms. Really getting those shoulders in as high as he can get them. Really getting up on those shoulders and digging into that bench. He has got an absolutely huge arch. Gets a good start command. Can he get the quick call? He's got to pull that through the shirt, and he does. Gets it to the chest. Fires it off.
Wow, beautiful.
That was fantastic.
That is absolutely beautiful by Vlad. See in the replay and see if we can figure out where that yellow comes from.
He gets the two white lights. Might have just been a little bit of movement in the butt that one of the side referees there picked up. Very hard to tell from that angle. Vakaland from Norway, 200 kilograms. 200 kilos on the bar. Had a bit of an up and down day on squats. Good bar path down to the chest. Good power off. And certainly made that look very, very easy. 3 white lights. Jaroslav Olek looking at 210 kilograms. And watching these first attempts gives a good indication of where they're starting and where they might be looking at finishing. You're seeing a nice, fast opening lift. They've set themselves up with some room to move. Current squat world record holder at 370 kilos.
And again, these are the attempts that come up. So in 2 of the next 3 attempts right here with Olek, and then Gashinets two up, these may determine the meet right here, these 2 openers.
Really working it down through that shirt. And that was a very tough opening lift.
Wow.
So he hasn't given himself very much room to move.
And he
at
knows.
all.
Look, and he didn't feel good there. The way he put his hands up is not.
Yeah,
see, they're shaking their heads.
Very slow standing up off the bench as well.
Carroll's shaking his head. It's because he came up. That look was not, oh my God, I'm hurt or I'm tired or anything else. It's like, man, where do we go from here?
There's not a lot of room to move. So Alex Ochoa from Ecuador, 210 kilograms.
And again, we talked. He takes much smaller jumps than Gashinets. Going to be interested to see what Gashinets does here. If he nails his 215, I'm calling this thing right there.
Well, this could be a good opportunity for Gashinets to make up that extra few kilos and just sort of peg him down a little bit. But right now, Alex Ochoa from Ecuador, 210 kilograms. We're talking about 215s and 230s at 210 kilograms. An absolutely monster lift for a 74-kilo lifter. Look at him get that chest up. And he has got a very, very tight system. And fires it up. Wow, he has got plenty of room to move there. Plenty of room left to move. Now we've got Gashinets coming up from Russia, 215 kilograms. And this is going to give us a bit of an idea if he's given himself room to move. Has he opened? So this is personal best on his, an equal personal best on his bench press. We've seen him bench so many times. He's a very, very, very good bench presser. Definitely worth watching if you're new and learning. And Jaroslav Olek has put in a 215 for his second. And Gashinets just taking his time. Wants to get himself in the perfect position and perfect mindset. He wants this to move as quickly as possible so then he can take a bit of a jump. Good control down to the chest. Fires it up, but just gets a little bit offline there. I don't know, and he can't get it back to the top. This is the game changer.
Wow.
He fired it off the chest, but just got completely out of line.
Wow. That's a huge change right there, because it said, again, I would call it if he made that attempt. He has missed that attempt, so it's still sitting out there open. Where does Olek go? He's gone to 215. Can't go to 212.5. That 215 was tough, unless they're able to jack that shirt, and that 215 helps it to get down to the chest easier.
Yeah, look, I wouldn't be surprised to see him come out and
energy.
absolutely smoke the second one. Alexander Eriksson from Sweden, 230 kilograms. And he smokes 230. Wow, absolutely destroyed it.
Impressive, Alex. Okay, we keep the same weight for Norihiro Otani, Japan. And the bar is loaded. Come on, Norihiro. Ivasion, Poland, next lifter.
And now we've got Norihiro Otani from Japan also looking for 230. And we have got two gentlemen at the 230. Are they both looking to battle out and try and take that world record? We'll wait and see.
Again, from 230 to 245 is a long, or 245 and a half. It's a long way in the bench press.
Long way in bench press. We always talk about the bench press not giving you a lot of room to gain numbers.
Now, Otani is a great bench presser, so let's see here.
We're about to find out.
Very easy.
A very smooth lift.
Very easy. Be interesting to see where he goes for his second. Eriksson's got it in 240 right now.
So 10 kilo jump. And we'll see how the 240 goes. That'll determine whether he's in a position to actually challenge that world record. We'll be watching to see now where Otani goes with his second as well. But right now, Kamil from Poland, 152 and a half.
The big difference, though, for Otani and for Eriksson is that Eriksson can wind up on the medal stand. Otani for total. Otani will not. So he could put everything into this and not so much worry about his placing.
He's not risking an overall placing.
Right.
He has an opportunity now to put himself on the podium, particularly the gold medal for the bench press. At 152 and a half on the bar for Kamil.
I mean, because of what's going on and the mess that's happening, Eriksson's now moved into a prime position to get a bronze medal.
And just couldn't quite control that. The suit just forced him back a little bit. Just let the shirt take over a bit too much there. Watsuk from Mongolia, 180 kilograms, missed this on his opening lift.
And the bar is loaded. Come on, Batsuk. Mayanto, Indonesia, next lifter.
Missed it on his opening. Can he get it on his second? $180 on the bar. So interesting, Camille has put in 155 for his third, just throwing a little bit extra on there.
Interesting. Try to see to get that, make that shirt work a little bit better. You know, and again, it kind of fits in with what the theme that we've been saying, that we think he probably is a classic lifter, judging by this.
He certainly lifts like a classic lifter. And unfortunately, 2 red lights and not getting that one on the board. Donny Maento from Indonesia, 190 kilograms.
You know, and this is a situation where it's not where you begin. All right, Mayanto is up now from Indonesia.
190 on the bar.
Very
had
easy
a good
180.
180. That was
Very
a
one-
very, very nice opening lift.
And big 310 squat. It's not big in comparison to Oleg's world record, but 310 is a monstrous squat, especially
You
in
look
those
at the
class.
numbers on this board for all those squats. Even the lowest squat is a huge number. Having to work hard, just can't get to lockout. He got really good speed off the chest and just
There you
slowed
go.
down a little bit too much there. So that's a no lift. Andre from Romania, 195.
And
195 kilograms.
I'm going to say Shaflika.
It sounded very nice too. And you can see these guys are really, really pushing the envelope. You know, we had a really good success rate in their opening lifts, and now we are seeing lots of second lifts being missed, 3 in a row so far. Let's hope Andre can beat that and put 195 on the board. Very wide foot position. And he puts it up very easily. Let's see if the referees say anything about foot position. The head referee has.
Got it, Mike.
2 side referees give a white light and it's on the board. Vladislav Shorny from the Ukraine, 200 kilograms. 10 kilos over his personal best. Just giving a quick instruction to the spotter there for his liftoff. I think it's always a good idea to remind them each time. These guys are spotting and loading and lifting off for so many athletes all day. They can't always remember everyone and everyone's instructions, so I think it's always a good idea on that second lift. Just have a really quick chat, just remind them how you want the bar taken off, and particularly at these sorts of weights. I mean, you don't want 200 kilos putting your hands in the wrong position. So he had no problem with 190. I think 200 should be a pretty quick lift as well.
Should fly up. As long as he stays in the groove of the shirt, he should be okay.
And he's just let the shirt push him back a little bit.
Got out of the groove.
And if you've never lifted in a bench shirt before, they really do have a mind of their own. You have to really force the bar into the position you want. And when you're pushing back up, again, you've got to actually control where the direction that bar goes in.
Well, if you think about it, for people who work out in a regular gym, the Bosu ball, like that half a ball, if you think of a small Bosu ball and you have that on your chest, that's kind of what a bench shirt is. So there's that we call it the bubble in the U.S. I don't know if it's called anywhere else. So if you pull down directly into the middle of that bubble, that makes that shirt work. If you pull north or south of that bubble and it's kind of at an angle, you pull south, it throws it to your feet. You pull north, it throws it to your head. And that's what happened there. He came north.
Yeah, you
and
have
it just
to
threw it into
have
his
the
head.
perfect line. Buckland from Norway, 207.5.
And then precision needed with gear as opposed to classic is if you're off a little bit, the lift is not going. Classic, you can kind of muscle it up.
Yeah,
There's
you
no
can
muscle in
make
here.
some adjustments midway through in a classic. And he got good speed off the chest,
Wow.
and he should have this on the board, I think. Yeah, and the referees say 3 white lights.
Okay, 250 kilos. 2 lifters on the same weight. First one is Jaroslav Olek, Poland.
Jaroslav Olek from Poland, 215 kilograms. Now, he had a really tough 210 to open with. And we both sort of looked at it and thought, where do you go from there? It's
You know-
going to be very interesting to see if that extra weight, tweaking the shirt, might actually look like a better lift than his opener. We'll wait and see.
You know, and I watched him. He's coming out. Obviously, we were watching on video, but I also see it live, him walking out right in front of me. I did not see any difference in his countenance between his opening attempt and this. So, as a champion 15 times in a row,
Yeah, it's certainly no stranger to this. It's no stranger to
he's
pressure.
had this happen before.
Just looks a little unstable, but
His butt came
fighting
up.
through it.
I think his butt came up.
And yeah, it's
All
just
right.
a little bit too much. He couldn't lock out. And you could see as he pulled that bar down, it just gets a little bit out of line. He never really got that bar in the position he wants. You see it as it comes to his chest. It's all over the place.
It's not happening. And I don't know, can we see? Yeah, it wasn't going to go. Now, here it's huge for Gashinets right now. He hits this
has
215.
to get this on the board.
Well, he hits this 215, man, and it's game on for him right there.
Now, you can see they've pulled that shirt down. You can see the chest panel's a little bit lower and tighter across the chest on this one. And it's a catch-22. You don't want it too tight, so you've got to work too hard to get it to the chest. But you want to use that tightness to actually get that firing out.
I mean, this lift, this 215 right here, could be the world championship here and end Oleg's reign. He's got to hit a bench press to do it, though.
Looks a little tighter. That's a lot better. That was a much different lift, that one.
His third attempt is going to look easier than that right now.
Yeah, that was a big difference. They made a few little adjustments. Looks like they twisted the sleeves a little bit. And that was a very, very different lift. And that is the thing with equipped lifting, particularly on the bench press. You get a little bit out of line, your technique's a little bit off. You know, there's no fixing that midway through a lift.
Well, I like the precision of gear for me.
Alex Ochoa from Ecuador for a personal best of 2:22.5.
You know, and again, right now we want to talk. You know, the world records here are 2:45 open and junior, and the Masters 1 record is 2:27.5. So we're in those ranges here, folks.
Yeah, we're certainly nipping at the heels, aren't we? 2:22.5 on the bar for Alex Ochoa from Ecuador. Having to really work it down. Yeah, very smooth. And he should get the whites, and he does.
So Oleg is taking 215 for his third. Gashinets could handle way more than 220, but he's putting in 220.
Yeah, look, I think that's a smart move there. I mean, we talk about getting the numbers on the board, and just that 5 kilos gets him on the board with an extra 5.
All right, let's watch these. That's exactly right. We'll cover that, but let's go. We have two guys that are going to be an assault on the world record here.
Alexander Eriksson, 240 on the bar, and he smoked 230.
All right, so they have to make these two attempts to have a shot at the world record right now.
So just reminding people that the record is 245. So they'll need 245.5. He needs to get this one on the board convincingly if he wants to have a shot at that world record.
Yeah, because he's still got a way to go. He's got 5.5 kilos to go.
That was pretty convincing.
I'm convinced.
I'm convinced.
I'm convinced.
That was a very convincing lift, and he gets the crackers.
If he's selling Swampland, I'm buying it because I'm convinced. I'm convinced. All right, now comes Otani.
So these two are battling it out. 240 on the bar again. He had a great 230 as well.
These guys are just sitting here crushing it. So remember, we said we're going to see more than likely world record attempts in all 3 disciplines.
And Otani is in a great position for this and his third. He has nothing to really lose overall by going for a slightly bigger lift in his third.
Now, I'm interested to see with Otani. His 230, I won't say it was tough, but it certainly was slow. It didn't fly.
Yeah, it wasn't
didn't move.
fast.
It certainly didn't look like Eriksson's 230, and certainly not Eriksson's 240.
Traditionally, the Japanese techniques and the training they do for bench press is very different. and that was a bit tough. It wasn't as convincing. Certainly was a good lift, a good power off the chest. He gets the 2 white lights and it's on the board. Has he got a 2:45.5? It's a big ask.
All right, so Ericsson's already got that 2:45.5 in.
As we expected.
Right. Otani can put in 2:45.5. What's going to happen if Ericsson makes it? It automatically gets bumped up to 2:46. Automatically get bumped up. So going back to that with Oleg, honestly, I don't think has a shot at that 2:15. So Gashinet's going from 2:15 to 2:20 is being safe to pick up that 5 kilos.
Yeah, I think that's a really smart move. We talk about getting the extra kilos on the board. It's all well and good putting 220 on the board, putting a bit extra on there, 225, so you get a little bit more. But if you miss it, you're right back to the start.
And here's the reason. If Oleg misses that 2:15 and Gashinet's makes a very makeable 2:20, right, based on what we saw in his second attempt, they're both going to be at 8:20 heading into the deadlift, and Gashinet's is a beast.
Ooh, it's a big deadlift. So Camille with 155. He's having to work through it. I don't think he's going to get there, and his bar has moved up and down by the look of it from here. And the referees agree it's a no lift. And it was a very interesting call. He missed the 152.5 and went up an extra 2.5 kilos for 155.
Again, I think that's trying to work the gear. That's what it looks like with the calls they're making and with the style. I mean, his bench style looked better than his squatting style, but I still think that's where we're coming from. All right, Batsuk Demdin Soren is up now from Mongolia.
That was very, very well said. 180 has to get it on the board to register a total. He's put himself under enormous pressure. Yeah, and sometimes it really pays as a coach and as an athlete to open just that little bit lower to really give you confidence of getting it on the board. And he's not going to get it. He's opened a little bit too high. And he can't get it on the board. That's a bit disappointing for him. He'll miss out on registering a total there, which is a real shame. But every competition is experience and a learning curve. And coaches and athletes, doesn't matter how experienced you are, we all make mistakes in selections and all sorts of things. And you learn from each one of them. Right now, Donny Manto from Indonesia, 190 kilograms. Just the on switch there. And he just can't get that to lock out. Vladislav Shorny from the Ukraine, 200 kilograms for a personal best.
And the boys loaded. Come on, Vladislav. Shoflika, Romania next lifter.
Adding 10 kilos to his personal best. He really gets it. It's a great technique to watch, getting his shoulders right into that bench.
Gary, I don't know about you, but this thing is holding my attention here. This meet is absolutely unbelievable. Wow, there you go.
He smoked that. Absolutely smoked it.
That's exactly right. He's like, I don't know.
I don't know why I missed the second one. I'm not really
Why
sure.
did I do that? Exactly.
That was fine.
Exactly. All right. Chauflika is up now from Romania.
200 kilos again.
Now, if I'm wrong on the Romanian, don't hold it against me. The only word I know in Romanian is Ceausescu.
Let's hope no one taught you the wrong word in Romanian. 200 on the bar. He hit a 185, Dave, and went to 195, and just a nice 5 kilo jump to get that nice round 200.
Yeah, this is really shaping up kind of crazy here. We obviously we have the gold and silver battle going on, but we've also got a battle for the bronze medal. It's just going to come down to last.
And he's having to work. He gets it back to the top. What do the referees say? No lift. He's a little bit disappointed with that. Buckland from Norway,
Look at that.
215.
That yellow card was for the foot being up, I think, and maybe the butt.
Yeah,
blue card.
His feet, and Big Mike picked it up, and the chief referee on his other attempts as well gave him a single red light in the middle there for those feet too.
And also, too, Big Mike Zelinski is your chief referee. He was also the North American bench press champion, so he
knows his bench press.
He knows it. Yep.
215 for Buckland for a personal best.
He needs us here if he wants to be on the medal stand. He needs his 7.5 kilos badly because of his misses in the
look, and it's interesting. I mean, he's hit the 200, he hit the 207.5, but they weren't the cleanest of lifts.
Well, and now you got Erickson, who's a home favorite here, who has that extra. If he makes the bench press, the world record, he has an extra half kilo, making Backlund go 2.5 to beat him.
It's all shaping up here. There's a good line going down. Fires it off the chest. That looks like a very good lift. You got excellent speed coming off the chest. And it is
beautiful.
3 white lights.
Absolutely beautiful for Shell. I'm sure he's happy here right now because he's still in a position to get on the medal stand.
Now this lift here, Jaroslav Olek from Poland, 215, missed it on his second. His opening at 210 was super tough. And he really needs to put this on the board.
And Gashinets is going to come right after him.
He just doesn't look.
So this is the meat here. These two
on
lifts.
This bench walking out.
No, remember I said on the second one he kind of looked. He looked exactly the same. His countenance was the same. He looked relaxed. He looks concerned right here. Look, it's a reign of 15 years. That's got to weigh on your mind to try to not lose instead of to win. Today might be that day.
And again, it's just a little too much, and he shakes it away.
And if Gashinets hits this here, it's...
Well, we're about to find out.
I mean, the goose is cooked, honestly.
We're about to find out. 220's going on the bar. And I said to one of the guys earlier in the break, and I said, if you give Gashinets a sniff at that overall gold medal, he's going to go after it. You've got to keep the door closed. And Jaroslav has given him a bit of a smell of victory there.
Well, you know, it's kind of interesting. You look at Olek. Olek's the old experienced wolf. Gashinets is kind of more like the coyote. He's out there on the fringe, might nipping the young one, trying to get the old one, and this looks like it might be the year.
Well, the coyote opened on a personal best of 215, and now he's looking to add 220. And if he gets this on the board, he is going to be in a fantastic position going to that deadlift, and he has a great deadlift on him. But he's got to get this one on the board first. And I think he has. He got fantastic speed off the chest there.
Unless something unusual happens with Gashinet's opener, not anything else, but his opener in the deadlift, he has ended
on the board.
He has ended Olek's reign. Unless something really changes here in the deadlift, something happens that we don't know.
Alex Ochoa now for 227.5.
Interestingly enough, it's going to see. We got to keep. Where is Gashinet's deadlift openers at 310 now, and Olek at 290. I want to take a look and see if they change. Gashinet's may drop and just try to match Olek.
Yeah, and it's quite possible. He puts himself in a position now where he can actually play it a little bit safer.
You know, again, being the coyote, the smaller, the younger, to get behind the wolf. Right now, they're even with openers. Drop behind him, push Olek to make a mistake, and have that big weapon, that third attempt deadlift world record attempt for Gashinets in his back pocket. At this point, I would rather be behind Olek than tied or in front of him.
And Alex Ochoa puts 227.5 up like it's nothing for 3 white lights.
Because Right now, Oleg is bloodied. He knows he's bloodied. He knows he is lucky to have gotten that third attempt squat. It was a good overturn, but it took the 5-man juror overturning this. Right now,
world record attempt. Alexander Eriksson from Sweden. I don't know if you can hear them behind us, but the crowd are crazy for this young man. And now he's going for a world record. So if he gets this 245, Otani's lift at 245 automatically goes to 246.
Yep. Let's see what it does here.
Going by his 240, it was very convincing.
Now, and the other thing that happens here, he picks up a half a kilo. It gives him a better stranglehold on
bronze medal.
on the bronze medal over Backlund, because Backlund's now got to go 2.5 kilo jump instead of being able to tie him. There's no way to tie him.
And
even though Backlund is a lighter lifter, he's taken that weight advantage away.
245.5 for the world record. And that looks good.
So now what's happened here? So he's made that 245.5 for a new world record. Otani's going to be pushed to 246. Additionally, now, so Eriksson's picked up that half kilo. That has totally nullified Backlund's weight advantage, so he can't tie him on body weight. Okay, Eriksson also has the higher lot number, so he gets to determine the order of the pull, the advantage there. He's nullified. He's used that half kilo to nullify Backlund's weight advantage.
Well, here goes Norihiro Otani from Japan, 246 kilograms. Doesn't look overly concerned about the extra half a kilo.
Now, those other effects, too, that I was saying that we have for Eriksson, not that they're unplanned, they're happily accepted. 245.5 was the right call there no matter what.
Very much so. We always talk about lifting what you have to lift.
Correct. He lifted the half kilo needed to exceed the world record. Now, Otani has been moved to 246. Let's see what he does here. He is also having a good day. All three of his lifts have looked easy, just like Eriksson's. Let's see if he can now set a new record that was just set less than a minute ago.
He's having to work just a little bit too much. Didn't get the speed off the chest.
Nope.
And had to walk through the middle. So that means the gold medal for the bench press goes to Eriksson at 245.5 and a world record. The deadlift is going to be crazy here to sort out these placings.
You know, and Alex Ochoa here came in and got the bronze medal in the bench press that he was coming here for.
Yeah, it's going to be an absolutely crazy afternoon. Look, don't go too far away. We are 20 minutes away from the deadlift. And you heard it here that we're going to see a world record pull in the deadlift as well. We'll come back in 20 minutes and we'll find out. See you for the action on the deadlift platform. Welcome back to Halmstad, Sweden, home of Elico, one of our biggest supporters for such a long time here, and the makers of the finest strength equipment in the world, and I don't think anyone will dispute that. We are here for the IPF World Open Powerlifting Championships 2018, and we're into the deadlift session of the 74 kilo man, and it has been absolutely crazy here today, and it is still developing. What do you think, Elliot? What is your prognosis? You've been a coach, you've been a referee. What do you think is going to happen?
I'll tell you, it's going to come down, again, I've been saying since before we even started this, it's going to come down, whoever wins will pull a world record deadlift. And I said, look, somebody's going to change their openers one way or another.
So the current world record deadlift is 328.
And that's Oleg. Now, Gashinets is open at 310. I said I might drop that a little bit if I was Gashinets. But we're going to come and see if it changes. Oleg changed from 290 to 295.
Well, it's shaping up to be very, very interesting. We know Gashinets is a fantastic deadlifter. I said to someone earlier, if you give him a sniff at the gold medal, he is make a run for it.
No doubt, no doubt.
And Oleg has given him a sniff for the gold medal, and watch out because here he comes. We're only about 15 seconds away from Batsuk from Mongolia to open at 200 kilograms. And interestingly, we have seen one athlete from Indonesia has scratched his deadlifts and opted not to come out and compete. So it'll be interesting to know what's happened.
Very interesting. So anyway, talking about that, so we got the battle there for gold and silver. They're pretty well locked in. As long as they record a total, they're pretty well locked in there. We've got this huge battle to watch out with Eriksson and Backlund for the bronze medal. And remember that Eriksson has that extra half a kilo from the world record bench press of 245.5. Right now, after openers, he will be 3 kilos ahead of Shell.
And Batsuk makes short work of 200 kilograms. Yeah, is that half a kilo going to come into play and make all the difference?
Well, again, Backlund is a lighter lifter. So Eriksson neutralized that weight advantage. He can no longer try and tie him
now
because of that 0.5. He's got to outlift him.
Andre from Romania, 200 kilograms.
And even if they put in the same weight for a pull somehow, Eriksson gets the pull first no matter what.
And the
pulls second. Excuse me.
And the world total record is 908 kilograms. And 200 kilos was certainly an easier opener for this gentleman. 3 white lights and it's on the board. And this is going to be a very fast-moving session too, so that's going to come into play with their attempt selections. Camille from Poland, 200 kilograms.
You know, and the total record might be in danger here too. It depends on what happens. But if this deadlift goes the way we think, I mean, you're going to have to pull. Even if it's at 328 now, I think 330 or 331 is going to have to be on that bar to win this meet possibly.
It's certainly going to come down to the last lift, as many of these competitions do.
All right, so Fligo is good at 200. Tam DeSoren was good at 200.
Camille's good at 200 by the look of it.
Good at 200, yep.
And that should be a good lift, and it is. 3 white lights. 250 goes onto the bar now for Norihiro Otani from Japan, who just missed out on taking that bench record away again.
Definitely
146.
Did. No doubt.
250 on the bar.
You know, and he's got to be stung by missing that world record.
Yeah, it certainly knocked him around a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely did.
Needs to get this one on the board. Get his mind back in the right position. He's had to work very hard for that.
That does not look good right there.
That was not a convincing opening lift.
Wow.
And the referees have said 3 red lights. Just didn't really stand up properly and pull those shoulders back and lock the knees in, did he? Yeah, he leant that back and rested on the thighs. Alex Ochoa from Ecuador, 265.
Came here, took the bronze medal in the bench press, 227.5.
Not a bad day at the office.
No, and everybody comes in here with different goals. I mean, there's no way Ochoa was coming in here to get a
Look,
medal
you
standing
know
total.
when you come into a world championship, these guys have all seen each other lift. They've all competed against each other before. They know where they stand.
No.
So you set your own personal goals for the competition.
Look, this is very different than a lot of other sports. Nobody is going to outplay themselves in this. This is not the FA Cup where a schoolboy team comes in and makes it to the final 16. You know, it's not going to happen.
Just can't quite hang on to that at the top. Just loses his grip there.
You know what I mean? You're not going to outperform yourself and have a day. It's not.
Look, you're certainly not going to come in with a nominated total of 750 and all of a sudden pull 890. So. You come in with different goals. Some guys come here to get PBs. Some guys come here to try and get a medal in a discipline. And some guys come because they want the world championship and they're in the running.
100%. Look at that great picture there.
Everyone has their own particular goals. So Vladislav Shorny from the Ukraine,
and
275.
And there's Manolo Campo Murillo as the technical controller. And he will be competing later on this week, and he's just continued to improve as a
And that is the thing,
as a lifter.
That all our refs, all our officials, all the people that are here making this event happen are all actively, or most of them actively competitive, or previously competitive as well. And he gets that one on the board at 275. So we move to 280 kilograms for Alexander Eriksson from Sweden, who now owns the world bench press record.
It's amazing. And it looked easy, too.
It certainly did.
I mean, he had more in the tank. But again, he had more in the tank, but that was a third attempt.
Lift what you need to lift.
He needed to break that record. Now, Red, someone may take the record from his name's out of the record book, but there's a history listed, so it still says at some point that he did it. He can come back and extend it later, but right now he got it in the books, got a 280 opener. His job right now is to stay in bronze medal position after these openers.
And that was a very convincing opening deadlift.
You know, and again, so you have two countries that traditionally have great pullers in Sweden, in Eriksson, and Norway and Backlund. They're both big pullers. And so that's going to be settled there. And the pull, probably a world record, is going to take to win between Oleg and Gashinets. So here comes Oleg for his first. This 295 is interesting. You know, they're both probably going to slam these unless something happens.
Yeah, so he initially had 290 in for his opener. He's changed to 295, just trying to narrow that, pull that gap closer a little bit more, give himself a better opportunity.
Very easy.
Trouble with 295.
Very, very, very easy. I mean, look, Oleg is a champion par excellence. 50 gold medals in international competition, has not lost in 15 years, has never finished out of gold medal position in Open Championship.
Well, Gashinets is going to try and challenge that, but right now, Buckland from Norway, 305.
I mean, you may wind up seeing Backlund, Gashinets, and Oleg all take world record attempts, but they will all be taking it for placing, not for a record per se.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Having to push to a world record attempt in this competition on the deadlift is not because they came here to chase a world record, because you need a world record to try and win. And
so, you know, Backlund's open here at 305. Let's see how this goes. But very likely, depending on what Eriksson took a 12.5 kilo jump to 292.5. Backlund may have to respond and go over that 328 to win this, or to win the bronze.
Well, 305 looked very, very easy.
Oh my goodness gracious! Look at him there coming off. Was that? That was.
Two white lights, it's on the board.
That's all it takes. I wasn't sure what the confusion was. That's okay.
Now, Gashinets from Russia, 310. It's really important he puts this one on the board.
You know, if this doesn't look clean, clean, clean. Mentally, he's got to feel a little rough because he's pulling 310 here.
This has to be.
Oleg's already got 310 in for his second attempt.
So this has to be on the board, but for him mentally, it needs to feel good. It needs to be clean.
100%. And the seconds, I'm not really worried about the openers.
And I'll tell you what,
seconds, how these seconds look is going to determine the gold medal.
That was fast. That was a very, very quick 310.
Folks, if this is a one group session where we move very fast. We only have 10 lifters, so we're seeing a deadlift about
quick.
About every 8.5 minutes. So there's only got about 16, 17 minutes left of this competition. Folks, do not go get a sandwich. Do not go to the bathroom. Do not get an adult beverage. Sit there and watch this. Do it all afterwards because you are going to see an historic event. The total may go down. We are going to see at least 2 people take world record attempts in the deadlift, possibly 3. It is exciting. Battle for gold and silver and battle in the bronze and the 4th place.
And right now, Batsuk from Mongolia, 210 kilograms, is on the bar.
Damien Soren's up here at 210 kilos.
And if you are watching this at home on Facebook, switch over to olympicchannel.com. Watch it in high definition. We are broadcasting on the Olympic Channel for the first time in IPF history. An absolute historic event and a historic competition. And he gets it up. Just struggles a little bit erecting and pulling those shoulders back.
Wow, there we go.
White lights.
That is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
We move to 215 kilograms now for Camille from Poland. A little bit over his personal best of 210.
You know, the other thing about the Mongolians, their squats, I said their benches had been huge coming in always, and they were squatting high and not really deadlifting. Their squats are beginning to catch up. Their deadlifts still have a long, long, long way to go. Damien Soren squatted 300. He's only going to probably wind up with a squat if he goes 3 for 3 of 220. That's a really big difference between your squat and your deadlift.
And every time they come to these events, every year they're just getting more and more experienced. Just struggling a little bit with the balance at the top there.
That's all right. Let's see what happens.
And he gets the 3 white lights.
Yeah, because there's a difference between the bar descending and just settling. They're 2 very, very different things.
And the referees are very, very good at knowing the difference.
So there's a big difference between that settling and the bar actually descending.
Andre from Romania, 220 kilograms, well under his PB of 232.5.
Shoflika is what we've been calling him, so we'll stick with that.
It sounds good.
Sounds good. Let's see if this deadlift is good right here with 220. His opener at 200 was very good.
It wasn't as clean.
Nope.
At the top there, just wasn't really steady, but it was enough to do the job.
And part of that comes from training, that he's just not pulling through the deadlifts in training. So he has to settle and then lock again instead of pull, settle. He's going pull. Oh, I need a little more, settle. And
So
that's where he's doing that.
Not a hero, Atani from Japan, 250, missed it on his opener. So now really needs to put it on the board.
Not having the day he came here for. He missed that bench press world record, which is what he's trained
like that
for.
Is really going to play on his mind a little bit.
And then he
knocks his confidence around a little.
And then he missed a 250 opener that he should nail. I mean, I don't,
It can just knock your confidence just a little bit. So 250 on the bar for Not a Hero from Japan. Let's hope he can get this one on the board. Now that looks better from this angle.
A lot better.
Well, let's see if he locked properly, and he did. 3 white lights. Alex Ochoa from Ecuador, 265 again, missing on his opening lift. Now let's see if he can put it on in his second.
And the bar is loaded. Come on, Alex. Eriksson, Sweden. Next lift.
And they are absolutely flying through these lifts. The spotters and loaders doing such an amazing job loading these bars so quickly. I'm sure if you're at the back at the moment as an athlete, you're thinking, guys, can you just slow down a little bit? Just a little bit? It's a very fast turnaround.
Oh, definitely.
So 265 is on the bar. Let's hope he can get this one on the board. He's certainly a lot more psyched up for this one. Gets it to the top, holds onto it very well this time. And that should be good, and it is. 3 white lights. So now Alexander Eriksson at 292.5. Currently in 4th position overall.
This will give him 860.5.
He's in a very good position if Buckland makes a mistake.
Alexander is for the moment in the 3rd position.
So Alexander Eriksson.
12.5 kilos.
Now, his best is only 295.
So he's really pushing the envelope now.
Which is last year. Now, he's a young lifter. He's only 24, just his first year out of juniors. But this is when 2.5 kilos. You hear all the support here.
He also, and he does, he has a little bit of an advantage here. He hasn't had to worry about travel too much. He's got home country support.
Yeah,
it can make a big difference.
Huge.
And he handles that extremely well.
I'm saying he's smashing that PB of 295.
Yeah, I think so. Wouldn't be surprised to see him go for a 300 on his 3rd. I think it's certainly in the tank.
All right.
Vladislav Chonyi from the Ukraine now, 295.
All right, and Shell Backlund has gone 322.5. So again, we're going to see probably if seconds hold, and this is really important for all this. The most important lifts of this entire meet right now are these seconds, because it depends on what you're going to do on your 3rd, whether you can pull. Eriksson has now put in 320 for his 3rd.
Remember, as well at home, you have 2 changes on your final deadlift as well.
But remember, Eriksson gets the choice of pull, and he is a half kilo ahead. That Backlund needs to go 2.5 over to beat him.
So 295 in the bar for Vladislav from the Ukraine. Did he get the down command there? And he has. He's got 2 white lights.
2 white lights.
The reason I asked was we can't quite see the chief referee or hear that down command very well from here. So occasionally we're not quite sure whether they beat the command or not.
All right, here it comes. These next 3 lifts really determine the order on the medal stand right now.
And here is Jaroslav Olek from Poland, 310 kilograms. These 295 look great.
And this is a shock, not a shock, but Eriksson's trying to make a move here and make a squeeze around Gashinets with that 320. This is going to be very interesting. We may have 4 people have to pull world record for this.
And that didn't look any different.
Did not look any different than the 295.
3 white lights.
Look, I believe it was in Austria in 2007, he made 6 attempts and won a world title. That doesn't happen.
That's absolutely unbelievable. Buckland from Norway, 322.5.
Olek is only, let's see. So he's only made 6 right now. So the best he's going to go is 7 for 9. It's difficult winning a world title going 7 for 9. If there's someone to do it, obviously
it
it's Olek.
Certainly makes it tough for yourself.
Because he did it at 6 for 9. Not an advisable way to go, however.
It's certainly not the best approach you can make. And we talk about consistency all the time and how important it is to get those lifts on the board.
Oleg has put in 315 for his third. This just comes down to coaching and guts right here. Everything else nothing else matters. Not the training, not your eating, the sleeping, no matter what's happened.
Yeah, that third and final lift on the day, you've used so much energy throughout. It really is about guts and determination.
Wow.
Wow, I tell you what, he mistimed the lock out of the knees with his upper body there, but doesn't look like he was able to erect properly.
Yeah, because I think that he lock and unlock the knees.
He locked
Let's
those
see.
knees very early. And yeah, you can see he just can't get those shoulders back or the hips through.
Wow. That might hand this thing to Erickson now. It really is a heck of a shot for Backlund to do it. I mean, he'll put something in and then put whatever he has to pull on the bar. Again, going to have to be now maybe 4 people pulling that world record.
And here comes Gashinets from Russia, 322.5. Wants to get this one on the board.
Mongolia next lifter.
He is extremely focused. And that was really fast.
I told you guys not to go anywhere.
That looked like an opening lift.
Wow. Now let's see what kind of number he puts in. I'm interested what the Russians are going to do here to put in a big number. We've got Oleg in at 315.
The way that moved, he has enough in the tank for 330. But the question is, what is he going to need to lift?
Well, right now, in the tank, based on made attempts, Oleg is still 7.5 kilos ahead based on that big squat. So moving up 315, it's another 5. It makes Gashinets go 12.5 kilos. He is also the heavier lifter. So he's got a world record. He'll have to chip it to be over that, right? Because he can't time.
So he's put in 328.5. But remember, we have changes to come yet.
Correct. He's just putting that in, first of all, to get the temperature of the pool. He doesn't want to dive in.
And he has 1 minute. So after he lifts, he has 1 minute to put in his attempt. So they put in their attempt. Has 2 changes in his deadlift. But right now, Batsuk from Mongolia, 220 kilograms.
Well, also, too, having that big pull, that world record pull in there in the books now, means he can just sit there and let everybody else do anything. He gets the last pull of the day to see if he can do it. And he can either raise it or lower it based on what's happened. Yep.
And that is the position he wants to be in.
Perfect.
So let everyone else do their thing. Then he can make a decision what to have a shot at. Can he get the goal? And Batsuk gets that to the top. Let's see how the referees see it. And 3 white lights.
Again, if it's me and I'm coaching, I like where Gashinets is in right now, the coyote behind the wolf.
He's put himself in a really good position. Yeah. He is in control now of what he has to pull. Kamil from Poland, 222.5.
And I'm keeping my eye on that. I'm keeping my eye on the scoring table to see if a coach comes up. Also watching the board just to see if there's going to be changes. We know there are going to be massive changes in the deadlift.
So this is a very big personal best, 222.5.
I think Oleg is going to stay at that 315, pull it, and just make Gashinets react.
Yeah,
but that's with a great puller and a young Russian like that. That's where I want to be, right behind him, force him to pull that world record to win, because he wants that world record anyway.
He's having to work. I think he's going to miss out on this one. It looks like he's done a bit of a double movement and some hitching there.
Yeah, and if that's a second attempt, as chief referee, I tell him down, because there's no way that's passing, and you're just saving him. But on the third attempt, open worlds, let him have a shot and see what the other referees say.
Andrei Joflica from Romania, 230 kilograms on the bar.
Doesn't that just roll off your tongue?
It's a very, very lovely name.
Joflica. What would you like for an after-dinner drink? A Joflica, please. Shaken, not stirred.
All right, here he comes, 230 kilograms on the bar.
These numbers, they're over the moon, man, these numbers.
Are just absolutely phenomenal. You know, we were talking at the World Championships in Pilsen last year how phenomenal the numbers are, and they just keep going. What do the referees have to say? I don't think he really locked that at the top, but he did. He gets there with 3 white lights. He managed to lock it away.
You know, the only shame of this week for me is that you and I will not be on the 105s together. I am unfortunately on the jury for the 105s.
Well, we should be good because you'll be sitting right next to me here.
I will,
and I can throw things at you.
You can. What was that? Was that rain? What? It's
Norihiro Otani from Japan, 260 kilograms, is on the bar. Missed his open at 250, got it on his second, but it wasn't the cleanest lift I've ever seen him do. And now looking at 260. He got a good bench at 240, but it's really knocked him around, missing that world record of 246.
Now, here comes another thing to look at. Right now, Ericsson's at 320. He's pretty well got a stranglehold unless Backlund does something crazy on a third and makes a big change. Does Ericsson jump up to 328.5? He has the lower lot number and try to hit that world record before Gashinet's. Then Gashinet's has got to go 329.
Forcing him to a bigger number.
Yeah.
And just can't quite get a hold of that one.
Just not the day for him. He's a good lifter, just not the day for him.
Alex Ochoa from Ecuador, 372.5. And it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So he missed his open at 265, gets it on his second, now jumping to 272.5. And the opening lift to 265, he pulled it quite fast, but just lost his grip at the top.
Yeah, and I mean, right now, I think Ericsson's going to stay there and not try for the deadlift. He wants that third. The issue is, for me, at 300, is that Backlund can do whatever he needs to do, and he's hit far more than this. He's hit far more than the 322.5 that he's missed.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're not far away from finding out. But Alex Ochoa with 272.5. And after watching that, it's hard to believe he missed his opening lift.
Definitely is.
That is 3 white lights. So we'll put 300 on the bar. And now for Alexander Eriksson, if he is going to make a change, he has right up until the moment they call bar loaded. But I think
he's not making a change.
He
wants that bronze.
300 kilos. He
wants that bronze.
He is putting that in place and not taking any chances.
Look, Backlund in this weight class has pulled 328. All right? So Backlund, he makes this, then we'll see if Backlund makes a change, because he's going to have to go up
and
to,
it's a
to
big
beat him.
call for Backlund, though, because he missed a 322.5 on his second.
But you got to go with what you got to go.
But here comes your bench press world record holder, Alexander Eriksson. He is having a good day today.
Listen to the Swedish.
Getting the crowd
Swedish
fired
fans.
up. I don't know if you can hear them over the microphones, but the crowd is on fire here. Alexander Eriksson from Sweden, home country advantage. Friends and family in the stands cheering him on. The crowd is, Tuesday and the stands are almost full.
He makes this.
And he handles that
all right, Backlund,
easily.
Backlund must make a change now. Must make a change. Vlad Chorny from Ukraine has changed. I believe he was in at 300 or 310. He's now 307.5.
7.5 kilos on the bar.
And yet, Backlund has changed to 328.5. So Vladislav from the Ukraine, 307.5. And then we've got 2 world record attempts.
And Oleg's got to hit that 315. I mean, the fact that 310 looks so great doesn't mean 315 is going to go, but that's the call for him right there, and then force Gashinet's to go up.
All right, 307.5 on the bar for Vladislav Chorny from the Ukraine.
And the good thing here is Gashinet's has the higher lot number than Backlund. Backlund must go first, and then Gashinet's has the freedom to change to mash on Oleg based on what's going to happen
Look,
here.
and that was his plan, putting that 328.5 in,
Yeah.
put himself in a position to
sit in
be
the back,
the one
like
to
we
have
were
the
saying,
last
right?
lift.
Wow.
And he looks like he's got it. He should have it on the board. And he does. Three
There
white
you go.
lights. There's 3 lifts to come.
And again, that's a junior lifter we're probably going to hear from in 2 to 3 years.
Do not leave your seats. Don't get up for anything. The only reason you should be getting up is to change onto the Olympic channel to watch the action unfold in high definition. First time broadcasting on the Olympic channel in history of the IPF. And right now, Jaroslav Olek from Poland, 315 kilograms, a very, very important lift.
Now, he stands at 890 right now. He makes this as at 895. Even if he misses this, Gashinets has got to make a move because the world record attempt of 328.5 for
Not
Gashinets
enough for the gold.
is not enough for the gold. He only stands at 888.5, so he's going to have to move it up to 330 to win this thing.
And the rugby coaches aren't very far away from that table. They know exactly what needs to be done.
So if he makes this, Gashinets really has to make a big move here.
And going by his 310, I can't see why he won't.
Wow.
And it just
Door
a little
wide
bit too
open,
much.
Wide open, wide open.
Wow, Gashinets now has the opportunity, but first, Buckland's going to pull for 328.5 for a world record, and watching this screen very, very closely to see what Gashinets puts
with
in.
the 332 and a half. No, I'm not, again, I think he's just sitting that there for time.
He
because
still
that,
has another change up his sleeve.
Because right now, Oleg's only at 890. This for Gashinets will give him 892 and a half. I think he's just given some room so that Backlund doesn't make a change himself.
All right,
but
well, here comes Backlund.
Backlund wouldn't make a change. This will defeat by being able to put this 0.5 on. He grabs that 0.5 back from Eriksson that he picked up in the bench press.
Well,
it's absolutely huge.
We're about to find out. 328.5. And here comes Backlund from Norway for a world record attempt. 328.5.
He will win the bronze medal by half a kilo if he pulled this. He has pulled 328 in this weight class at Norwegian National Championship. And he has pulled as much as 352 and a half, but it was in the 83 kilo class. But he still has pulled it.
He's got it moving pretty fast. Can he lock it back?
That looks like a world record right there for Shell Backlund. And that's the bronze medal and a world record.
Lights. He gets a world
Shell
record.
Backlund.
He has absolutely thrown that one on the bag. And he gets the world record and steals away that bronze medal.
So wait,
and we have one lift left to come.
Wait, so what did I say? We were going to have what? How many world records were we going to pull? Did I say at the beginning? Well, originally I said how many before I said 3. 2, so we're going to get 2.
Well, we're going to get 2.
So I'm off on that. And who did I tell you we'd be pulling it to exceed whose world record?
Gashinets is hitting 332.5, and this is not just for the world record. This is for the gold medal overall to end the reign of Jaroslav Olek from Poland. 332.5, and it's interesting. This is more than he needs to pull to win this.
I do not understand this.
But I think if anyone's got 332.5 in the bag, it is this young man.
He could have gone less, well less than this to do it. He has 2.5 kilos more on. Like I said, he needed to go 330.5. If he does not make this,
332.5. Here he goes. And it's a little bit too much. Looks like he just couldn't hold on to it, and he'll have to settle for the silver medal. And Jaroslav Olek, by the skin of his neck, has held
16
on
straight
to the gold medal overall. Your reigning world champion in the 74 kilo class. We said this afternoon when this session started, we said it was going to heat up. We said they were going to have to pull world records if they wanted to win this. And that's what we saw, world record after world record after world record.
but the one question we have to ask in looking at these numbers, unless the math is wrong somewhere, why did Gashinet's pull 332
when he could have pulled 330.5 to win? And that, as we know, 2 kilos, 1 kilo can be enough to stop an athlete. It could have made all the difference. Well, he's going to have to go and think about that and look back over that one and wonder what if. But you have Jaroslav Olek as your reigning world champion. Gashinets will take the silver medal, and Backlund with the bronze, and stole that one away. Don't go too far away. We will have the medal ceremony coming up very soon. And tomorrow's session heats up again. We'll have the 83 kilo men, the 63 kilo women, and the 93 kilo men as well. And we will be here for all the action.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we will have the prize ceremony for the 74 kilo class of male lifters. Please give them a hand. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the prizes will be presented by the President of the International Powerlifting Federation, Mr. Gaston Parage, and the Vice President of IPF, Mr. Sigurd Jon Petersson, Iceland. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we'll start with the squats, and in third position with a result of 335 kilos from Ukraine, Vladislav Chorny. Silver position with a result of 340 kilos, Sergei Gaisinech, Russia. And the gold goes to the new world record holder, Jaroslav Olech, Poland, 370 kilos. Thank you, gentlemen. And then we will move over to the bench press, and bronze medal from Ecuador with a result of 227.5 kilos, Alex Ochoa. And the silver goes to Japan with 240 kilos, Norihiro Otani. And last but not least, a new world record, 245.5 kilos, Alexander Eriksson, Sweden. Okay, thank you, gentlemen. Then we will move over to the deadlifts, and in third position with a result of 310 kilos, the bronze goes to Poland, Jaroslav Olech. silver with a result of 322.5 kilos, Sergei Gaisinec, Russia. And a new world record, 328.5 kilos, go away, Kjell-Egil Bakkeren. Thank you, gentlemen. Finally, we will move over to the total results. And on bronze position, the bronze medal goes to Norway with a result of 868.5 kilos, Kjell-Egil Bakkeren. He needed the world record for the bronze, and he did it. Okay, silver goes to Russia. Sergei Gaisinec, 882.5 kilos. And last but not least, gold to Poland. Jaroslav Olev, 890 kilos. And please all stand up for the national anthem of Poland.